I completely understand how it feels to need to please your parents because you feel like you owe them something. You know, they whatever paid for your education, they provided for you.
It was their
etc.
fault we're here anyway. Or maybe you're a brand looking for your next promotion and you want to find a content creator like Daily Gamer. Then you can go on their their website and search for Daily Gamer. Yeah,
So smooth.
Yeah, cool brand to work with.
partner with them. So I hear.
Reviews, the biggest news, the what's new, and the who's who. Welcome to the Daily Gamer podcast with Joe Mango and James.
Okay, it's time for the tough questions now, Senia.
Yes.
I know I'm saying it very correctly. Your name, it's not the easiest name, but I'm getting there.
Let's not get into that again.
No.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
It's not
fine.
my fault.
You could just have a normal name like Joe.
Yeah.
That's pretty simple.
No.
Joe would be a perfect name.
No,
for
I
me.
actually love your name. You have an amazing name, and I wish I could, be better at
called
saying it. But
Ksenia.
But anyway, let's move past all of that. You work for Division, which is really cool. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what Division does?
So Division is a online platform, where what we essentially do is we connect brands with gamers. So, a lot of brands right now, they want to try to advertise in the world of gaming, be that Twitch or, YouTube gaming, obviously depending on the region. Yeah. And what we do is we give brands access to a large pool of like gaming content creators or pro players who can help them with that.
Yeah, making the connection between them.
And then, we manage the campaign and we put it all together to make it easier for them to get into that space because at least from what we can see, a lot of brands still find gaming a bit of a complicated space.
Yeah, hard to understand.
Yeah.
I think it is good though because what I've seen, and also when I spoke to Dan about this, who is the co-founder,
and he's a managing director.
Yeah, of Division. He came on the podcast back in November, and he was saying it's actually pretty crazy, the amount of brands that are wanting to, work with gamers who have nothing to do with gaming. They're not a gaming company. Mm-hmm. They could be a beverage company or something like that. So
yeah, I mean, if you think about it, actually, food and beverages is probably one of the perfect, collaborators with gaming because when you think about streaming, for example, is the easiest thing to put on a stream. Somebody just having a can of Coke or eating some crisps. It's just it's very organic.
Everybody eats, everybody drinks. So
yeah, exactly, and it's an easy sale.
I mean, I guess they don't actually have to physically be chatting about the product all the time, but just that product placement kind of helps.
Yeah, but it's a very organic way of advertising because imagine, you've been gaming and then you're like, okay, I just had my delivery from Deliveroo.
Yeah.
And then you bring it in and then you have your, I don't know, again, Coke or Pepsi, whatever. And you're like, damn, this Pepsi tastes good. There you go. You already mentioned the product.
Yeah.
And it is advertising.
Yeah, no. That is really clever, really cool. So what is your role at Division and what do you actually have to do?
Right. So I am the director of operations at Division. So I kind of bounce back between the two founders.
Okay.
Trying to make sure that, things stay in line because, as with founders, they can get excited about certain things.
Yeah.
And try to go off topic in certain areas. But, they're great people. They're super professional and I love them to bits. They're really incredible. But, day-to-day operations, whatever, finance, legal, making sure that things get done on time. So that kind of thing.
Okay.
Cool.
And I guess you're in gaming, so it's just everything's kind of fun, right?
What's funny? I work in gaming and I barely game anymore just because I don't really have time for it.
Yeah.
But it is fun because you get to do really creative campaigns, for example, and you really have that time to sit with the creative team of the brand, for example, or the agency, and discuss it with them in depth. And, sometimes they give us the space to be creative ourselves, or they already have a campaign and they come to us and they're like, okay, look, we have this thing, let's make it happen. And most of the time, it's actually really cool stuff.
Okay.
So it's nice to see the amount of creativity that actually goes into it.
So you have a platform which is at division.ae.
Yes.
So if content creators sign up to that, that is kind of like their way of being part of what you're doing, and a way for you to be able to then pair companies to these creators.
Yeah.
Does it always have to, like, is it a process that can happen like almost online without you being involved?
Precisely. That was the whole idea of it. We wanted to, you know, take ourselves out, or just people out of it as much as possible. So essentially, yeah, as a gamer, you would come in and you just register on a platform. You will link your social media profiles, you know, your Twitch, your YouTube, your TikTok, or whatever social media you have. And you would typically write what games you play. And we're also adding a new feature where, you know, you will specify that you, for example, don't want to advertise, I don't know, like sweet things just because you're against sugar. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you know, whenever there are any campaigns coming through, they just don't get sent to you because that's not something that you would do. And it'll waste your time.
So do the brands also sign up and make their own accounts and everything?
Yes,
on
exactly. Well, either agencies or brands, they can create their own profile there.
So they can't. So I assume if like I went on to your website right now, haven't made an account or anything, I can't see who's there, right? Like I can't see.
No.
So I have to make an account first. Say I'm a brand and I want to look for some gamers.
Yeah.
Once I've signed up and made that account, I can then start looking for the people that I want.
Can the brands go in and define what they're looking for specifically?
Well, look, you can, when you're putting your campaign together online, you will write, you know, the campaign name, then you will choose whatever services you want, you know, the dates of the campaign, and you can even upload a proper brief, as in, you know, like the description of what the campaign is like, what you want the, you know, the content creators to mention, when, etc., all the details. And then you go to the next page where you actually choose the content creators for your campaign.
Okay.
And, you know, you will see their following. You will see you following on each social media.
Browse their profiles.
And you can click on their profile and actually learn more about them as a person, I guess.
So do you have to get involved with every kind of campaign?
Me as a person?
No, like as the company. Like, does the company get involved? So
yeah, look, at this stage, because we're still introducing people to it. I mean, just gaming in itself is a bit complicated, but also, you know, using a digital platform can be complex at times too. So for the first few campaigns with each of our clients, we do it manually. So we run it, like we explain how it works to them. But we are trying to move them more towards using the platform independently from us. We still do bespoke campaigns. So, you know, in the future, whenever we have bespoke campaigns, we will have to get involved personally. However, if it's something standard, then no.
That's more like when the client's like, hey, we want to do something really cool. We're not exactly sure what we want to do. And then you'll like help them come up with ideas and create that campaign. Okay. And sorry, just a weird question because I'm trying to like, you know, fully understand the platform because I think it's really, really cool. So how do you kind of prevent these brands just making accounts and then finding content creators and then, you know, just linking with them, you know, not through the platform?
Well, it's part of our terms that they sign before actually getting access to the platform.
Okay.
So, you know, we try to incentivize them not to. Obviously, you know, this is a free world. We can't stop anybody from doing it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys ever dealt with influencers yourselves. It can be quite difficult and time consuming. So what we add value in a way that we manage the whole campaign for them. And we are the ones dealing with the influencers reaching out to them. Yeah. So it's just easier. To do it through us.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense. I mean, I'm not saying that that's what they would do and everyone's going to do that.
No, we thought about it.
yeah. But I just wondered if there was like anything there to kind of like try and prevent that. Because, I mean, I think that most companies, though, that are serious about actually doing these campaigns would be, you know, 100% up for going through your you know, your platform and using your services, which is really cool. No, I really like it. I think it's a fantastic service for these, especially like the content creator side of things. But then also, like, I'm sure there's a lot of, you know, agencies out there who, you know, kind of don't always give certain creators the time of day and they focus on their bigger creators who, whereas if on this platform, anyone can sign up to it and
Precisely.
any brand can look for any person.
Yeah.
So it might be someone that the normal agency wouldn't put forward because they're like, oh yeah, they're kind of small, but someone might go in and be like, oh, that person is perfect for our campaign. We want that person kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
So I
But,
think that's quite cool.
Yeah, that's a really fair point. And also, I mean, for us, we really want to grow it in the region and to provide this opportunity to, even the casual gamer. You never know. You could be a very, you may not be actually good at playing games, but you could be a good entertainer.
Yeah.
Because after all, streaming is entertainment.
Yeah.
And if you're good at it, why don't you monetize it?
Yeah.
And we'll help you grow. And we actually have been adding, in some of our campaigns from our own cost, we'll add a few like micro influencers, just like with a few hundred followers.
Yeah.
Where they will get a bit of a, campaign action for them.
Yeah.
And
To give them a taster, sort of.
You must get a good look at the statistics as well from these brands in terms of like who they're targeting and
Yes. Yeah.
demographic things like that.
Yeah. Well, we don't necessarily get it from the brands because we have our own like analytics partner
Yeah, okay.
who would get that information, then we'll share it with the brand because brands actually come to us for the information.
Yeah.
I mean, they may want to target a particular audience or a
Yeah.
particular, like geographic
A
location.
region, yeah.
Yeah. So then they'll be like, we want to make sure that it's we don't want a
Yeah.
content creator who is like based in the US and streams for the American audience because that will make no sense for the
Yeah.
local
Yeah,
audience
exactly.
purely because of the time difference,
So also, obviously a bigger streamer will be able to charge more than a
Yes.
smaller streamer.
Of course.
Who chooses like kind of how much they're going to be charging? Is it the actual content creator themselves, or do you help with that with these content creators?
We have a rate card that we agree with both the content creators and, with certain agencies. So typically it's dependent on how many followers they have and how active they are and stuff like that. So obviously, if you have a few million followers on YouTube or like, a few 100,000 on Twitch, then obviously you will be charging a lot of money. It's a known fact. So we adjust a rate card depending on that.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. No, I just wondered if like, if you're a really small streamer, you're like, I want 10,000 dirhams for one
No,
thing.
not happening.
No, yeah. So you actually kind of vet that.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
on the platform, it's already available. So, when you actually go to the final page, you kind of have like your shopping cart, as bad as it sounds, but, you have the content creators that you've selected
Yeah.
and how many streams you want. And on the side, you will actually see how much each stream or the sum of streams cost, and then you'll see your total at the bottom. So it is kind of like that's what we love about it because it's so easy for you to play around. You can reduce or increase to fit within your budget.
No, we actually do have a page signed up with Division already.
You do?
Yes, we do.
We
yeah.
do,
Ooh,
yeah,
guys.
which is pretty cool. I don't remember if do I set my own budget for what I think we're worth. I can't remember if I did that or not. Is that a thing?
I
Or do you-
don't think you do that.
No. Okay, so that kind of comes from.
We're worth 1 million.
No. I just
One stream, one mention in the stream.
So you're the one that selects how much we're worth.
Yep.
And then the client will go, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then we agree to it if
Yeah.
we're happy with that.
So essentially how it works from the side of the content creator, they will receive the, in their inbox.
Like an offer.
Yeah, exactly. Like a
Wait,
collaboration
does it only
request.
go to the inbox of your account?
No, I think you also get an email.
Okay,
Otherwise,
great,
you will
'cause-
never, ever, ever.
I was about to say, we could have had loads of...
You're like, I'm going to log in
your
right now and
emails,
check.
we could have had loads of inquiries and I didn't even know.
No,
my
I think
goodness.
you also get an email notifications because for us, the requirement is for the content creator to actually, either accept or decline within a certain time period. And
Yeah.
if they don't, obviously we'll have to search for an alternative. So, even if you had any and you missed them,
Yeah.
sorry, they're gone.
Makes sense.
So how did you get into the gaming industry?
So it's a bit of a story from me, I guess. Story time. Here we go. So my background is has nothing to do with gaming whatsoever. Although I've been a gamer my whole life, my background is corporate.
Yeah.
And I grew up in England and I worked in London, and then I decided, okay, you know what? I got off to a good job. I moved back home, and I was there for maybe like half a year. didn't really enjoy it. Not a big fan of my hometown. So I was like, okay, it's time for me to get out. So I just
Spread
started
your wings. Yeah.
exactly. So I started messaging, my network, being like, guys, I'm ready to leave. Let me know if anything comes up, that kind of thing. And the first thing that came up was actually, a gaming startup in Dubai.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I game. And, the role kind of applies to me.
And Dubai is a really
And
cool place.
Dubai, and it was January.
Yeah.
And I
quite
was pretty
recently, yeah.
cold. So I was like, you know what? This sounds very nice.
I could do with some sun.
Yeah. So I literally, I did the interview with them and I got an offer pretty much on the day. And 2 weeks later, I moved to Dubai.
That's
And
awesome.
I know. It was a bit of my whole family. They were like, because I don't know why, but they're like, put on your location in case you get kidnapped. I'm like, that is probably the safest place on the planet in terms of that.
Exactly.
But it was pretty funny. It was really sweet how much they they cared. But yeah, no, I've been here for just over a year. And to be fair, I did change my jobs. I didn't go straight to Division. I joined Division back in November. I don't know if I already said that. But I love the industry. I think it's great here, and it's definitely booming in the Middle East, with a lot of investments, especially coming from the governments, like in Saudi. They're really, really, really funding it well and trying to make, Saudi, I guess, Riyadh, the capital of gaming.
Yeah.
And we can see a lot of initiatives coming from the UAE as well, which is great to see.
They've got was a Gamer 8 festival coming back. I think they did it for the first
in
time
Riyadh, yes.
last summer. And then, to be honest, when it came about, I was like, I kind of heard about it and heard that something was going to happen. It was called Gamer 8. And then I didn't hear anything about it. And then all of a sudden, it was like, it's happening in a week and it's massive. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Huge.
And then obviously this year is the second time they're doing it.
Yeah, and it's even bigger.
Yeah, they've had a lot more time. They've had the first year to get all the jitters out and all the problems, iron the creases. And now it's looking really, really cool. And you kind of think Saudi in the summer, but it's all this ginormous indoor place and it looks really cool.
To be fair, last year, which was the first time that I went to Saudi, but I went after it was already over. I went for Next World Forum, which was actually also a really, really cool event, tech-wise. There was a lot of gaming as well, but it was, overall future technology. And actually attended a few interesting talks there. Probably one of my favorite ones was actually on girls in gaming, and it was a really interesting panel with great, just incredible women in this space. And the conversation they were having with the audience was so eye-opening because when you think about Saudi Arabia, you don't think about girls being, or at least having the ability to do content creation, for example, which makes sense because you think of Saudi Arabia as this very conservative place. But so many girls actually game there.
That's awesome.
And a lot of them do create content. They just, they don't show themselves. They would just show maybe their hands just playing. They will never
or an
actually show their
avatar
face.
or something.
Or an avatar, exactly. But some actually are, would show their face on camera. And it was really interesting to hear that perspective because for me, obviously, I will not have any idea or clue how life of a Saudi girl is.
Yeah.
But it's incredible to see that there are so many more opportunities for them opening up in this space because, in this region, in the UAE and, just GCC in general, over 90% of the population are gamers.
And I can't remember the exact stat, but it was something out of the 90% that are gamers, it's almost 50-50 between men and women as well.
Exactly.
Which is so cool. Absolutely
There's
love
no
that.
division in this sort of industry as well, where it's sports, okay, maybe there's a strength attribute or something like that. But with gaming, everyone's the same.
Yeah.
It's a skill.
More or less, I guess. But, even when you think about competition, so far, majority of competitive events with big prize pools actually happen for men.
Yeah.
We don't really have mixed teams yet, although I've heard, that some companies or some teams are trying to get actually mixed team, but it's not really done. You either have a female team or a male team.
Why do you think that is? Why aren't there more mixed?
I'm not really sure. I I honestly have no idea. I mean, if you really think about it, it could be down to the physical abilities. It could be down to reaction time.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe it's the difference, like preference in what what games girls would prefer to play, and what games guys would prefer to play.
Yeah, yeah.
As well.
Well, I know Valorant did a pretty big tournament, which was the first like major that was all female.
Yeah.
For Valorant, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I was watching the stream of that, and it had like as many, if not more, people watching than the men's one.
Yeah.
Which is
Which is so
incredible.
cool.
It's
Yeah,
great
yeah.
news. And I mean, just now not Gamers 8, sorry, Girl Gamer.
Yeah.
Just finished, I think like a few days ago, 18th of March, in Bahrain, which was a huge event, and it's purely for girls.
Yeah, yeah.
Which makes me personally really happy.
No, that's really cool. And by the way, just going back to the Valorant tournament, the girl who got her team won, and she was MVP, and she was from the Middle East.
No way.
And
She's from Bahrain, was she?
she was from Bahrain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was.
Whoa.
Yeah, and she did like this amazing speech at the end, just
great.
saying like, for all the girls that feel like they can't do it, like you can, because I did it.
It
And,
was
like,
so inspiring.
yeah, honestly, I'm just getting shivers thinking about it now, because like her little speech at the end was just like amazing. She got MVP of the whole tournament, and she was like, "I'm a girl from the Middle East, and I can do it. You can do it too." And I was just like, "Yes."
Yeah.
But
I did message her if she wants to come on the podcast, but no reply yet.
But it's not just girls. In this region, it's for boys as well. And it could be the stigma coming from the parents. Here it's unlikely that your parents will support you through your professional career. They just look at it as like, okay, whatever, you're gaming, but that's not a real job. Whereas a real job would be like, you go to union, you study to become a doctor or a lawyer or I don't know.
Accountant.
It's
an
the
accountant,
old-fashioned
exactly.
way of looking at things.
So it's not just for the girls,
Yeah.
but for girls it's even worse because of their gender.
Yeah. So, like, I'm not going to ask you too many more questions, but one question I have is literally just, what advice do you have for those that, they might have a really big passion for gaming, but they're kind of stuck in that mentality where they feel like they have to just get a normal job? Like, what advice do you have to those people? Honestly,
Follow your dream. Really, because the only time where you will be happy is when you're doing the thing that you like. I completely understand how it feels to need to please your parents because you feel like you owe them something. They paid for your education, they provided for you.
It was their
etc.
fault we're here anyway.
Well, exactly. But at the end of the day, it's your life. You're going to be the one living it, not your parents.
Exactly.
So why not give it a try? You never
Yeah.
know. That may be the biggest success of your life.
Yeah.
So go ahead, follow your
Totally
dream.
agree.
Work hard, and it will pay off for sure.
Amazing. Well,
Perfect.
thank you so much for
Thank you,
taking
guys.
the time to chat
Thank
with
you very
us.
much.
And some amazing, inspiring words. Make sure you go check out division.ae
That's
if
right.
you are a content creator, or maybe you're a brand
Yes,
looking for your next
exactly.
promotion and you want to find a content creator like Daily
Yes.
Gamer. Then you can go on their website and search for Daily Gamer. Yeah.
So smooth.
Yeah, cool brand to
Wow.
work with.
Partner with them. So I hear. But no, there's obviously so many, amazing content creators, not just from Dubai, but like over the region. And I think
Yes.
it's actually like international as well.
Yeah. We're global.
Exactly. So, go check it out. If you're a content creator, you want to get a little bit of a push, even if you've got 100, 200 followers, you never know, you might be able to get something from it and
Precisely.
start building your brand. So, Senia, thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank
we will
you.
definitely have you back very, very soon.
Thanks, guys.